Susanna. Good morning. My name is Gisbert Glaser, and as was said, I'm speaking on behalf of the scientific and technological community. Let me start by stating one of our main convictions, and which is the theme now of this cluster, that science, engineering, technology and innovation have fundamental roles in the transition to green economies and in achieving sustainable development and poverty eradication. We need technological innovations, but they alone will not be sufficient. We equally need innovative approaches and policies, innovative institutions, and in particular, new innovative economic models which truly integrate the environmental, the economic, and the social pillars. Rio+20 provides a unique opportunity, in our view, to set in motion an effective global innovation system based on sound science, including in the social and economic sciences, enhanced R&D efforts in all nations and in all economic sectors, and enhanced testing and deployment of innovations of all kinds in both cases, cities and mega cities, and in rural areas. To this end, Rio+20 must commit to some key action items related to science, technology and innovation. First, commitment to support major solutions-oriented research undertakings focused on sustainable development challenges. Second, also the private sector should contribute to enhance investments in science and technology and green economy R&D, and through also public-private partnerships. Third, we need unprecedented levels of international scientific and technological cooperation, with particular attention to North-South and South-South and triangular cooperation, and we need technical and financial support for scientific and technological capacity building in developing countries. So the next point, and this is almost the last one, I think, we need to strengthen the science and policy interface at all levels. We need an ambitious Rio+20 outcome. The scientific and technological community is committed to working with governments, business and industry, local authorities, all other major groups and stakeholders in the implementation of such an ambitious outcome. My question to the Bureau members and to the member states present here, the delegates present here, is how do you see the role of science, technology and innovation in the Rio+20 outcome? And a related question, what are your particular points, maybe among those which I highlighted, but also others, which you would like to see in the Rio+20 outcome document? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to the Business and Industry Major Group.
Thank you, co-chairs. As I think we all have said in these introductory remarks, innovation and technological advance constitute the essential element of our transformative journey to future sustainable development and growth. Business, as represented by Business Action for Sustainable Development, is committed to continue innovating and bringing solutions to market that support inclusive and green growth. Governments should promote the enabling policy frameworks for inclusive and green growth, with special attention to technology, innovation, investment, and research and development. Clear policies, good governance, and public sector financial support for private sector investments will support development cooperation and economic growth in developing countries. While business plays a key role in developing new science and technologies, it is clear that diffusion and adoption remain a challenge in many countries. The private sector, through collaborations with governments and through public-private partnerships, can bring solutions to this issue. We hope the Rio process and outcome will recognize that there is no single policy that will ensure success. Comprehensive government policy approaches that foster innovation are needed in both local and global settings. Government policy at all levels should support investment in education, investment in R&D, investment in infrastructure, protection and enforcement of intellectual property rights, promotion of competition, support for entrepreneurship and small business, open markets, regulatory transparency, and promotion of and access to information and communication technologies. In conclusion, business is a primary source of innovation, and provided with the right environment is a critical player in the development, demonstration, commercialization, and dissemination of technology. I'm going to turn to my colleague, Michael May, to pose a question for all of us. A few questions.
Thank you. We are very grateful for this opportunity to speak, and we have one major question for all those involved in this process here today. What concrete steps, both within and beyond the Rio+20 process, can business, industry and governments take together to enable diffusion and adoption of technologies that will have the most impact on sustainable development?
Thank you, business and industry. I am co-chairing today for all major groups, but I am also the local authority major group organizing partner, co-organizing partner, so I give the floor to myself now as local authority major group person. The local authority major group remains actively engaged in the Rio+20 process. Why? Because good urban development is the key to sustainable development, and many cities around the world realize this and take innovative action. Urbanization is a driver for economic world growth and development. We should strive to achieve cities that are environmentally sustainable, socially responsible, and economically productive. Local and subnational authorities would like to transmit a sense of urgency. The need to act is now. This calls for concrete actions and measurable commitments and results. It also calls for innovation. In a meeting with the United Nations Secretary General and national governments last Monday, local and subnational authorities put forward the following 8 recommendations. Recommendation 1, a new multi-level governance architecture is needed, which involves also the subnational spheres of government. Recommendation 2, sustainable cities should be a cross-cutting issue in the Sustainable Development Agenda. Potential Sustainable Development Goals should include at least one goal on sustainable cities for all and make reference to access to quality basic services, social inclusion and equity, and the environment. Recommendation 3, cohesion among territories in development policies should be fostered. This is to say that we need to go beyond just the city and also look at larger urban spaces and the territorial cohesion, within these. Recommendation 4, culture should be acknowledged as an important dimension of sustainable development. Recommendation 5, development of legal mechanisms for local and subnational government. Recommendation 6, development of financial mechanisms for local and subnational governments. Recommendation 7, local and subnational governments as hubs of green growth. Recommendation 8, the Rio+20 conference should be considered as a first step towards Habitat 3, which will focus on the global commitments to reinvigorate the urban agenda. I would be happy to elaborate on all these. In the interest of time, I won't elaborate very much, hoping that some of these recommendations do not all speak enough in themselves. Happy to further discuss it later, as are my colleagues. Based on these recommendations, and in order to bring them into the Rio+20 negotiation process, the local authority major group has developed suggestions for paragraph 72 on sustainable cities. We support some changes which member states suggested at the reading last Tuesday. We also propose 3 further ideas. The first, which we consider important and should be mentioned and included in paragraph 72 on sustainable cities. The first one is territorial cohesion, so that we do not stop at the city borders as defined by political units, but we really look at the territorial cohesion of the whole area. Second, urban biodiversity and urban agriculture should be included among the important topics. Third, recognizing the role of associations of local and subnational governments as well, since over the past decades we have indeed very much helped to build sustainable cities around the world. Our messages and these points, we hope, are innovative. We know we need to change from business as usual in order to achieve the transition we urgently need. Cities around the world have implemented sustainable development. There are countless innovative examples which have worked well and should be replicated and scaled up. Other ideas like urban agriculture and urban biodiversity management are new and up and coming. Since this is a dialogue, we would welcome to hear your thoughts on the need for urgent, innovative action, in particular as related to the points just raised. We believe creating sustainable cities is one crucial way of achieving the future we want. Do you agree? We look forward to working with you, the national governments of the world, and all other partners to create sustainable cities. In order to do so, we look forward to continue our dialogue with you in all these meetings between major groups and member states, in bilaterals, and by events dedicated to cities and states in and around Rio in June, where we hope to welcome many of you. Let me finish by quoting the UN Secretary General, who said, "Our struggle for global sustainability will be won or lost in cities." Now, moving back from the local authority hat to the head of the co-chair for this section, I would welcome any questions and comments from the Bureau and from member states on these topics.